It's feared that they went to meet their brother, who apparently is understood to be fighting with extremists in Syria. So there's a lot of confusion. We don't know all the facts. We've talked a lot about teenagers going over there, but is it these women are mothers and have taken their children with them? Is this more shocking to you?
I think it's shocking because the youngest children are 3 years old. And those are children who've got no choice. Yeah. They've just been abducted, removed from their fathers and their community, and they're in a country that they haven't chosen to be in the middle of a war that they didn't choose to participate in. So I do find that quite shocking. On the other hand, I don't want this to turn into another demonisation of the Muslim community. What I would like to say, I was listening to Baroness Worsley on the radio this morning, and she said the government must reach out more to this community and establish a dialogue. But I would also say that people who've lived in this country 1 or 2 generations ought to consider how they fit into British society as well.
I was going to say, it takes 2 to interact, doesn't it?
Exactly, and I would say I'm waiting for more mosques. Obviously, some Muslim leaders have spoken out against ISIS, but not in any great numbers. And what we do need is a whole lot more mosques and imams to speak out and to say we profoundly disagree with this philosophy. This is not done in the name of Islam.
Do you not think that they're not doing it because they don't identify with the people who are, you know, jihadists and part of the ISIS group? They don't identify with them as being part of their religion, so why should they?
Yeah, why should they? But at the same time, something's got to be done to stop making ISIS sound so attractive, and I think there has to be some clever work done on the internet and through social media to show that there is an alternative, because as a teenager it's perfectly understandable to be a rebel. That's part of being an adolescent. But to choose this radical kind of outrage, you know, it's outrageous behaviour.
But I think this because these aren't teenagers, and we've often said on here, you know, teenagers make mistakes, teenagers do foolish things, teenagers can be influenced.
Of these 3
women,
but
they're 30-year-old mothers,
yes,
so you think that's another level, isn't it? Again,
but they're in a community which is very inward-looking.
Yeah, but I also think us as a society, particularly the media, how do we treat our Muslims? We don't treat them as if they are part of our society. I think that we really do demonise them as a whole. I saw an article in the paper today and it said the breeding ground for jihadis, where even the ice cream ladies wear a burqa. Now, to me, Muslim women wear burqas, not jihadis, but this is how they're being presented, and I think that's so wrong. And you have to think, when things like that are being said on a daily basis, they're being treated so differently. Maybe Syria looks more, you know, more than in that community.
I actually think in this instance, you know, to me, the whole thing is like a cult. You know, I think the brainwash like cult leaders do. You know, we had the big American...
ISIS,
you know,
obviously ISIS, not,
not every Muslim, but ISIS, you know. I think it's like a cult, like the Waco situation. Exactly. And it is very hard when you're sitting here as a mother yourself thinking, how can you... Fair enough if you want to go, but how can you drag your children? But that's why I think it's a real brainwashing system, that they are promised this land of glory and hope, and your lives will be so much better.
But I think, like Janet said, then the leaders of the mosques, the imams, should be talking to the young people. You've got to start at the ground roots level, haven't you, to say, they will tell you this, they'll tell you this, they'll tell you they're creating utopia, they'll tell you you'll meet a handsome man and it's all windswept and marvellous, and they need to be told it's not. And sometimes you think...
I think it needs people that have been and experienced it who've realised it's not, and that's why, you know, we're saying don't let them back in. In some ways, let them back in to say it's nothing like they're telling you.
By the way, the same thing happened back in the 60s and the 70s. There was not just Scientology, there was the Children of God, all sorts of religious cults flourished and appealed to exactly the same kind, from teenagers to young mums, ran away from home, gave all their money to religious cults, and the only reason that some of those cults withered and died was because people came out of them and told the world what they were really like. So it is a process that has to happen.
So it's them that need to come out, not the you know, imams. harms, it has to be the people that are involved
Yeah,
in
experience.
Yeah, but we need to have more
it can be a
leadership from the
joint,
community.
it can be a joint effort from the community within to kind of keep an eye on their young people and talk to them more about the reality of it. You know, because they're very easily persuaded and swayed, I suppose.